Welcome and thank you for coming this morning. I'm Trudy Schaefer, the Senior Director for Program of the League of Women Voters of California. Today's press conference for No on Prop 26 is a little different. Instead of long speeches, I'll give a brief overview, and then we'll hear from this diverse group of Californians that we've assembled to say a few words, each of them, on why Prop 26 is bad for California. Then we'll take questions as time allows. Big oil, alcohol, and tobacco industries are trying, yet again, to shift the burden of paying for the public health and safety impacts of their businesses onto taxpayers. Philip Morris, Chevron, Miller Coors, and the other companies behind Prop 26 want to change the state constitution to make it virtually impossible to make businesses pay for the costs they impose on taxpayers. Prop 26 is fatally flawed and will negatively affect every Californian, no matter what their political persuasion or what their core values are, whether they are conservative or liberal, care about police protection or protecting our coasts. Californians have every reason to join in opposition to Prop 26. And now let's let some of those Californians speak to you.
Good morning, I'm Mark Murray with the environmental group Californians Against Waste, and we oppose Proposition 26. Proposition 26 will make it virtually impossible for manufacturers to be made responsible for the environmental costs, the recycling costs, the cleanup costs associated with their products. It's going to make it more difficult to clean up used oil. It's going to make it more difficult to clean up tires when there are tire fires in the Central Valley. It's going to make it more difficult to increase recycling in California, and that's why we're opposed to Prop 26.
Good morning. I'm Elizabeth Scholes, Director of Public Policy for the California Council of Churches Impact. Once again, under the pretense that the supermajority vote protects the public, Prop 26 actually seeks to fool voters. It has one real purpose, and that's to protect large corporate interests from assuming fair responsibility for their actions. By putting passage of compensatory fines and fees almost out of reach with this supermajority vote, corporations could be assured that they would not have to pay for the contamination they cause, the harm they do to adults and children from dangerous products, and that they can shift the entire burden of their crass disregard of our safety and health back on our shoulders. One of our key faith principles is restorative justice, making whole those who have been harmed and asking accountability from those doing harm. California Church Impact stands with No on Proposition 26 to protect our right to hold those who hurt us fully accountable to us. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Jennifer Richard on behalf of the California Center for Public Health Advocacy, and we oppose Prop 26 because it is an insidious effort by the tobacco, alcohol, and oil industries to take the power away from local government to protect the public health. I hope you'll join me in opposing Prop 26 so we can protect the health of our communities.
Hi, I'm Derek Cressman here with California Common Cause, and if you believe in democracy, and we do at Common Cause, you understand the need for citizens to be able to come together and make decisions about how we're going to run things. Everybody knows the way you make those decisions is with majority rule. But if you're a special interest, you're not interested in democracy, you're just interested in promoting your bottom line, and that's what Prop 26 is all about. It's a power grab by the special interests. And you would think that even those interests would write something more carefully, but there are a lot of unintended consequences behind Prop 26. For example, a local government would need to hold a 2/3 vote requirement for something as simple as instituting a trenching fee for underground cables or a fee to mitigate traffic impacts from a rock concert. That's going to mean local officials are going to need to have special elections. That's going to cost us money. It just doesn't make any sense, and that's why Common Cause is saying vote no on Prop 26.
Good morning. My name is Vanessa Kahina, and I'm the State Policy Analyst for the California Immigrant Policy Center. We are in opposition to Prop 26. We have seen the positive impact that tobacco fees have had in terms of reducing the costs on our public health system. Prop 26 would take away the ability to make tobacco companies pay their fair share and would instead pass the buck to the taxpayers. That's why the California Immigrant Policy Center is opposed to Prop 26. Now I'll do my remarks in Spanish. Soy Vanessa Quijina del Centro de Políticas para Inmigrantes de California. La propuesta 26 es solamente otro intento de tabaco y petroleros a pasar el daño que hacen con sus productos a los contribuyentes, quienes están constantemente pagando para la irresponsabilidad de estos grandes negocios. Hemos visto lo que han sido estos honorarios para nuestro sistema de salud pública. Honorarios en tabaco han reducido nuestros gastos de salud y han prohibido a niños empezar a fumar. La propuesta 26 elimina nuestra capacidad para colectar lo que merecemos como un Estado. Esto es porque el Centro de Políticas de Inmigrantes estamos por oposición a la propuesta 26.
Nicole Hudley, representing Consumer Federation of California, and we oppose this initiative.
Lenny Goldberg, California Tax Reform Association. I urge people to listen to the hearing this afternoon, and I'll have longer remarks. This measure is extreme. It covers any public benefit that is captured by a fee, any public cost. It's extreme and it's deeply flawed. For example, they did not even intend to cost the state $1 billion, which it will do every year as a result of overturning a budget agreement. So it's extreme, it's flawed, and it should be rejected by the voters.
Lou Stone, California Professional Firefighters. This measure would completely handcuff local public safety's ability to recoup fees for things we've done for years and years. This is a deeply flawed measure, and we hope that all of you vote no.
Good morning. My name is Paul Neprath. I'm the Vice President for Advocacy and Health Initiatives with the American Lung Association in California. The American Lung Association has been fighting big tobacco for decades in California and across the country. And we know in this campaign that Philip Morris has donated $2 million to pass Proposition 26 to avoid fees on cigarettes that could be used to pay for anti-smoking programs and to help their oil industry friends avoid carbon emission fees that pay for research on the health impacts of diesel exhaust and other pollutants. Proposition 26 is bad for public health, and it's bad for future prevention and enforcement programs that would benefit the health of all Californians. That's why the American Lung Association in California and many other organizations that are here today and across the state that are working to protect your health and not the profits of big tobacco are opposed to Prop 26.
Good morning. I am Justin Malone with the local environmental health directors. Prop 26 is preposterous. We are the folks that at the trenches, we protect your public health from oil, from toxics, from bad drinking water. Every aspect of local environmental health is going to be challenged if we have to be put through the ringer and get a 2/3 vote to basically support these absolutely fundamental public safety programs. We urge your no vote on 26.
Leslie Daniel with Sierra Club, California. You make a mess, you clean it up. We all learned that in kindergarten. Big Oil, they want us, the taxpayers, to clean up their mess, their pollution. And they've got a lot of gall to ask right after the Gulf spill. We're too smart for that. That's why Californians will vote no on Prop 26.
Dennis Smith speaking for the California Federation of Teachers and an accounting and business professor at Sacramento City College. Teachers teach people how to think, not what to think, but how to think. We teach people to recognize the difference between good ideas and bad ideas. And this is a bad idea. Proposition 26 is not only bad, but it is deceptively presented. It will have the same consequences as Proposition 13 did in terms of shifting the balance between accountability for corporate misdeeds, and also it will pit, if you will, the interest of corporate profits against public need. Proposition 26 does need to be defeated. We teach in the California Federation of Teachers, we teach that that education is the access to democracy. And in California, democracy has been diminished greatly by the minority having the supermajority power to both restrict a budget from being passed, to restrict taxes from being raised, and now even more. There is never enough for the corporate greed. Now even more, they want to restrict the ability for us to assess fees to protect ourselves from their rapacious activities. I urge everyone to read, to learn, and to vote no on Prop 26.
I'm Mike Carroll with the Western Center on Law and Poverty. We defend the interest of low-income families in the state budget around health care and public benefits like CalWORKS every day. We see the corrosive effects that the two-thirds requirement for passing a budget and increasing taxes in the state of California is causing. What it does is it pits all of our interests against each other, and it makes it harder for each of us to make sure that we're doing our jobs appropriately and taking care of our areas. And Prop 26 is going to just make that situation worse. It will give more power to the other side that really wants to shirk their responsibility. I call these kind of measures, these proposals by, the whimpering wealthy. They're always asking for something because their life is in danger and they have to get more protection from the rest of us. We have to reject these kind of measures that simply shift away and put burdens on other aspects of our society, like low-income families who get pitted against each other after these kind of measures take effect. We strongly urge people to vote no.
Good morning. My name is Tina Andolina, and I'm the Legislative Director for the Planning and Conservation League. Proposition 26 would be an absolute disaster for California's environment. Prop 26 means that major corporations that pollute our air, our water, and our land would be let off the hook for the pollution that they've generated. Instead, they've crafted this measure to ensure that we, the taxpayers, are stuck with the bill to clean up the messes they've made. We strongly urge voters to reject this measure on Election Day. Vote no on Proposition 26. Thank you.
My name is Brandon Kadegawa. I'm with Regional Asthma Management and Prevention. We work to reduce the burden of asthma in communities across the state. And we oppose Proposition 26 because protecting polluters will dirty our air and increase asthma-related hospitalizations and emergency department visits.
As you've witnessed, Prop 26 is strongly opposed by a broad coalition of Californians, from environmental and public health advocates to policemen and firefighters, from Democrats to Republicans. Everyone understands that Prop 26 would harm the environment, let corporations get away with doing damage, and stick the taxpayers with the bill. There's more information in your press kit and on our website, noonproposition26.com. We also encourage you to attend the legislative hearing today at 1:30 in room 4203 in the Capitol to hear why Prop 26 is bad policy for California. Testifying for the no on 26 side will be Dan Tarrick from the League of California Cities, and I think it's important for us all to recognize the extreme opposition, strong opposition of the League of Cities and the CSAC, because the cities and the counties understand what kind of burden Prop 26 will make on their providing normal services to all of us. Also speaking will be Lenny Goldberg of the California Tax Reform Association, who's mentioned that he'll be able to give you more detail as you listen to that. And Bill McGavern will be representing the environmental interests from the Sierra Club of California. Let's now take questions.